This video will demonstrate how to create an interactive e-poster for virtual meetings. The poster takes advantage of the slide zoom-in feature within PowerPoint and can also take advantage of audio narration. This is an example of a layout of such a poster. I'm going to put it in slideshow mode and demonstrate how this feature can be used. As you can see, the slide layout has 6 slides in an array of 2 by 3. If we click on any one of these slides, it zooms in. And so, to really take full advantage of this feature, you need to keep the viewer in mind. For virtual posters to be effective, they have to be easily readable on a screen of about 7 to 15 inches. You should also bear in mind that you can take advantage of the zoom and narration features in PowerPoint, which can enrich the poster viewing experience. And as far as text is concerned, less is more. Interactive data graphs and illustrations are more effective, as I will demonstrate momentarily. If we click back, we go back to the poster viewing zone. If we click on Materials and Methods, for example, I will demonstrate how you can actually use content that you typically use in just about any PowerPoint presentation you prepare, including videos and including animations. So the point here is that this is a virtual poster, and the use of these interactive and rich features can make the viewing experience a lot more satisfying. For the results, less text is recommended. Remember again that this is a virtual poster, so the use of interactive graphs, videos, simulations, animations, etc. is highly recommended. Your data figures should have legends that should be informative but also succinct. In discussing your findings, you should very concisely summarize the major findings with reference to the original purpose of the experiment. You could juxtapose and interpret the results in the context of the published literature, and where appropriate, you may offer alternative interpretations or critically evaluate the effectiveness or limitations of your findings and methods. And finally, your conclusions should be logical and consistent with data presented. And you can have suggestions for future studies to expand the understanding of the questions tested. As an option, you can also include references here, but that is not required. So that demonstrates how this e-poster works. So let's build one from scratch. So we'll start with a blank PowerPoint, and the objective is to really create a 2 by 3 poster. In other words, we're going to have 6 slides that have the major content. So we're going to go ahead and create those 6 slides. And instead of me just creating them on the spot, I'm just going to copy the slides that we have here, which appear grayed out as you see here, but that's okay. So I will copy these guys, and I will paste them here. And at this point, I've now created my content. So the next step I would recommend you do is to actually go ahead and narrate these slides. So to do this, you would go to Slideshow, you would go to Record Slideshow, and make sure before you do that the use timings and play narration options are clicked. So if we now go ahead and make sure, first of all, that there is no timings or narrations on the slides. If there are, we would have to clear them. Once we've cleared them, we can now hit clear or record slideshow. And you go ahead and begin speaking when you're ready. So you can practically narrate whatever is on the slide. You can either read or you can describe what graphics are on the screen. When you're done with this slide, if you simply hit the mouse, you go to the next one, and you continue narrating, for example, in this case, the materials and method. And remember to bear in mind that if you have animation, your narration should also be in sync with the animations you're trying to use. That's very important, as this can be helpful for the viewer. And here again, you continue narrating the next slide. And when you are done, you go on to the next slide, again describing your data, ultimately discussing the findings and the conclusions of the poster. And when you're done, now you will see that all of these slides have an audio icon with them. And so your audio narration is now incorporated in these slides. The next step now is to create the layout for the poster. So you can see I've left a blank slide at the very beginning. So if we go to that slide and we go to the Insert menu and we do the Zoom and we select Slide Zoom, we don't do either the Summary Zoom or the Section Zoom. We want to do the Slide Zoom. That opens up a dialog box, and we now pick the slides that we want to include, which are in this case the 6 slides we just made. This is going to lay them out in no particular way, so now you begin to organize them around your slide. So we're just going to do that. And of course, at this point, you can also resize them. So if we go ahead and select all of them, we can go to resize them. Make sure we take advantage of the canvas that we have, and we don't have a lot of white space. You can align them as best as you can so they're aesthetically pleasing. All right, so now we've created the layout for the poster, and we can give it a test. So if we actually now go ahead and put it in slide show mode and test the functionality, anytime I click on any one of these slides, you will actually hear the narration that you've already recorded. So I'm going to click, but I'm not going to say anything, and I'll allow you to listen to what's being recorded. And you go ahead and begin speaking when you're ready. So you continue narrating, for example, in this case, the materials and method. And remember to bear in mind that if you have all right, so let's exit. And one thing you noticed was that anytime you try to click on any one of these slides, it actually advances to the next slide. So if you go and select these slides in the poster layout, under the Zoom tools, you would have to do it actually one by one. So under the Zoom tools, you can say, once you've clicked, return back to Zoom. And you will do this for all of these slides except for the last one, such that when you click on the last one, it actually ends the presentation. Okay, so let's give that a test again. And here you go. And you continue narrating for. Okay. All right, so the next thing then is to create your title the author list, the affiliations, and any acknowledgments. So once again, instead of typing this up, I'm just going to go here and grab all of that. And I would recommend that you put a picture of yourself on the poster so that people know who you are. You could also choose to put a logo for your school somewhere on the poster. And so in this case, we can put it right here, or maybe in the right or left corners in the bottom. And you have an option also to include some contact information and some social media handles. So you can just type those in. And that really completes your poster. It has all the information you need to include, and it also has all the functionality you need to have. At this point, the poster is ready to be reviewed, so take your time reviewing it. If you should need to re-record a particular slide, you can go ahead to that slide. You can delete the audio on it, and you can, in fact, insert new audio using the record audio feature. So you can now begin to speak as soon as you hit the click to start recording, and all the things that you're saying will be recorded and will be the content of this particular slide. All right, so now we have a new audio recording for this particular slide. Any changes you make to these slides will go live on the poster slide number 1. So if I, for example, just highlight these guys, you will see that they have become also highlighted on the poster slide. If I change the content in any one of these slides, they will change within the layout slide. Now that we're done and we're satisfied with the content and with the audio narration, and the poster has been checked for functionality and it looks good to us, we're ready to finalize it. So the last step really is to export it. And what I would recommend you do is to export it as a PDF first. So let's just go ahead and do that. And the PDF is basically just a screenshot of that first poster. But more importantly, you want to export it as a movie. And so if you click export and then select either MP4 or MOV, those are the two options that you get. Make sure you select one of them. I would recommend you make the seconds spent on each slide without a set timing to be 3 seconds. And I'm going to go ahead and put these guys in the download folder. And so you will see that the PowerPoint now is saving the video that you just created.